Okay guys, Matt Dixon here, as usual. I hope all is well, and I don't think that I really need to introduce Meredith, but Meredith Kessler, one of the Purple Patch Pros. And as you guys can tell, we are not in San Francisco where we're both based. In fact, we're in Hawaii, and we're sitting right next to a pool over there that would show you if we could, but the light on the camera wouldn't do it. I don't have my microphone, so we're using the wonderful laptop microphone, so hopefully it might be a little bit tinny, but at least we'll get our message across when we speak, and you should be able to hear us. As you watch this video, if you want to tune in live on Thursday morning, if you get an opportunity, Meredith will be with us on Meetings with Matt this Thursday. So that's at 9:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, so 6:30 in the morning our time. It might be dark where we're doing it from, and we'll go from there. But I thought that what we'd do is just spend 10 or 15 minutes and talk a little bit about Meredith's training, what she's doing. She's obviously got the Hawaii Ironman coming up in now under a month, about 3.5 weeks away, and so it's all coming, and it's building. But as we know, ultimately it's just another race in the fabric and the tapestry of a triathlon career. So Twiggy, as we call you, why don't we start? I'm going to just ask a few questions, and I'm sure that I will interrupt and give my own thoughts as it. But why don't you start by talking about why this is our second year now that you've come back, and you've spent at least the month before Hawaii based in Hawaii. So why don't you give a little insight into why you choose to do that?
Well, I think that for us, we live in, as a lot of you live in colder climates. I train in a lush 50 to 70 degrees every day, and that's quite cooler than what Kona is, being that Kona is a good 35, and it's been probably 40 degrees warmer this week in particular. But it takes my body, personally, some people can adapt to heat a lot faster. I tend to take a couple weeks to get acclimated, and it's great because y'all are catching me on a day I had one of my top 5 pretty much worst training sessions ever, and that's okay, because we have, as you might have heard me say before, we have the why even bother workouts, and then you have the what the heck just happened workout. I had the what the heck just happened, and I think we're just getting used to adapting to this type of climate, between the wind, the heat, the lava, just pelting heat off the rocks. So for us to get out here a month early, or even I've been here a week now, so a month and a week about, is so crucial for the process and for our journey that we've been working on for certainly almost a decade, but also in our progression the last 2 years as we build up to our Super Bowl of our sport.
And why don't you talk a little bit about what happened today and what you felt today? Because we did, just for insight, I've been here for a couple of days now, and I've never seen it as hot as this. Out on the Queen K, which is the main road that the bike ride is on, it was 97 degrees real temperature. So who knows what it was bouncing off the lava, but it was extremely hot. Very, very clear, so no, you can see actually in the background there, it's still very, very sunny here, and it's later in the afternoon, so there was no cloud cover at all, and not too much wind, so it really made for very trying conditions. And we were out there for about 4.5 hours on the bike with supposedly Ironman intervals, although I wouldn't say that your power was Ironman power coming home today. So just from a pure experience, what happened to you today?
Well, I have to tell you guys, it's today I felt you're supposed to go into just races feeling like you're the most fit or the most in shape that you've ever been, and we've worked for that all year. And I have to tell you, today, I thought you were just going to say, when he said it was the hottest weather he's seen, I thought he was going to say it was the worst workout that he's ever seen of mine, just because what happens is sometimes you just feel, unfortunately, like you're not fit enough, and that's not the case. And for us as athletes and humans, we have to sort of learn to kind of segregate that and not overanalyze. So that workout, by the way, is over. I thought about it certainly when I, as Matt would say, came in like a donkey dipped in cement, and I went and took a cold shower. Literally, we had to move my brick. We're about to do the brick basically just now, because I was so in the goth phase of the box that we call it, just completely overheated. And so But I also embrace it because I feel like we need these. It was still a good deposit, if you will. It just wasn't what we had anticipated on the day. And that's okay. I can't overanalyze, neither can Matt overanalyze every pedal stroke, every watt, every single session like that. And you're going to have the good and the bad. And I think you said it today. When you have the good, you have this like, rah, rah, I'm awesome. And you don't ever think about that one again other than how you had a great workout. Well, with the bad, it becomes this like dark place where you don't want to remember that. And so I just forget about it right away and sort of use it as leverage for our next session, which hopefully will feel a lot better than today. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, and I think that it was really a heat management problem.
Yeah.
To sum it up, and I think that that's just coming into a very heavy training session. We got a little bit dehydrated yesterday on a lighter day, and then you wore black clothing today, and it was probably the wrong choice of clothing to be wearing in such trying conditions. You know, it's really one of those things that it was very clear that Meredith's core temperature rose to a level that it just wouldn't allow her body to produce the power anymore. So we had to just come into crisis management mode. And I think the key takeaway there is beyond from Meredith's standpoint of let's just forget about it. It's also really what she said, working on the things or focusing on the things that she could do to control the negative effects of that. So rather than just sulking and saying, oh, it's a bad day or whatever it might be, instead of that, actually coming in and saying, okay, what can I do to get core temperature down? Cold shower, cold fluids, recovery drink, recovery boots for 45 minutes to an hour, get the feet above the heart, total relaxation, and then try and build yourself up for the rest of today. We've still got a session or two left, but it's going to be very low stress. But in that, really try and rebuild the hydration status, the caloric deficit that we've maybe created, so we can rebuild our energy resources, and tomorrow probably have actually a much better day. It's one part of it. The other thing from a coaching standpoint that's interesting is those really bad days when, I mean, it was an epic fail on the outside, but actually sometimes those things are really insightful for a coach when that happens, and it just sort of helps inform me what we need to do over the next couple of weeks, and I guess it may be helpful for me, but you know, talk about your plan in August and then into September, how you've sort of gone about and what we need to do in the coming weeks a little bit.
So in August, we took the opportunity to get a lot of miles in. I was fortunate to do a camp with Matt, and Paul was out here, and then a camp with Rich and the Team Everyman Jack guys in Marin, which was amazing. And we put in a lot of miles. And as someone who typically does a lot of training indoors, this is twofold. One, I think we did 4 5-hour rides within 6 days, which it's a lot for me. Everyone's different, right, about that. Mm-hmm. And so it was just a lot of volume on the legs. And so we used August to get ready for Kona, even though we had a little blip in between there. We had World 70.3, would have been about a weekish ago. So the key right now is that I have to forego is not worrying about the volume and focus more on sharpening. And as I said to them, I'm a little bit of a rusty bucket right now, and I need to sharpen, get more affiliated with the course, which we worked on a lot last year. And so using the tools basically and the volume and the tools we did in August, and kind of parlaying that into the September training where we're doing a lot of fine tuning and not so much crazy volume.
Exactly. And I think that's really a huge thing, is that Meredith's not getting any fitter now. We have great fitness, and in fact, anyone that's moving into Hawaii now, it doesn't matter what you want. You're not trying to build fitness now in that last month before any Ironman. In fact, what you're trying to do is just get ready to race and ensure that you can show up fresh. So what we do is really space out the days between and the hours between key sessions, still make them pretty challenging, but make sure that we have more recovery so that we can have a bit more specificity. Tomorrow we'll do a longer run, but that will already be the longest run that we will do going into the race, and it'll be much more about fine-tuning race-specific intensity or pace than it will be about just simply accumulating miles, because whether we like it or not, our fitness is there. And the one good thing is we know it's fitness, that the fitness is very, very good, which is great. I guess the last question before we sort of as a teaser as we move into to the Thursday morning live session. But one of the things that you always talk about is you very rarely hear you say I. You always say we, and I always notice that when I listen or read things about you, and you always talk about we. So I thought it might be nice just for you, from your standpoint, to talk about the we a little bit, or let these guys know who the we is, because you got quite a team around you, really, aren't you?
No, I do.
You're not a princess, but you have a team around you.
Yes. It does give me a slight anxiety to say I, we. I'd much rather, or I and my and me, I'd much rather say us and we. So because even though the sport, you know, having grown up playing team sports, I have that teamwork makes the dream work type mindset. And to flash forward to a month when Kona happens, it is completely the teamwork that's going to make the dream work, whatever place we end up. But on our team, you know, I'm just the technician, which he's heard me say a lot. And of course you get disappointed. Like today, the technician PS was terrible. Like the technician just did not have the juice. But that doesn't mean the other people on the team are going to be like, well, she stunk, we're out. You know what I mean? And that's what I appreciate very much. But I'm fortunate on our team to have my husband, obviously Aaron, who is a vital part of helping manage kind of everything and keep everything really simple. And then you've got Matt, clearly, who has been in my life for 10 years nearly, and coached me from when I was a, you know, middle of the pack 20 Ironman girl at the time, heavy exerciser, to what we've tried to, you know, progress to try to be a world champion in years to come, or this year, or whatever we can do. It also pains me to say, like, you know, that kind of stuff. But and then of course, so he's been vital in that progression, this journey we always call it. And I always tell anyone talking about the sport that's so set on the day-to-day, they need to take a bird's eye view at the sport and know that it's a continuous progression of learning. And Matt talks a lot about process, logic, not emotion. I mean, I could list 20,000 Dixon quotes, but all good. And so, vital part of the team, Matt, the Purple Patch community, which we're fortunate to have in San Francisco, and you all, BTS, around the globe, and all that good stuff, which is, you know, just extra fuel in the fire to have this community that also supports you. Paul Buick, who's out here with us in Kona, our bike guru, smartest guy I know in that capacity, to just to be on the bike, telling you about the pedal strokes and the tools you can, as he said, use in your toolbox when you're out there. We've learned how to be more of a, before I just was like, I rode my bike, and now I feel like we are more of a cyclist, if you will, and I can always tell when I'm doing things wrong in that capacity now, which I would have never known a couple years ago. And then we have we have the Purple Patch Pros back in San Francisco, Sarah Cometto, Laura Sadell, Sarah Piampiano, and everybody led by Matt in San Francisco. Then of course we have our pros outside of San Francisco who are all part of our team, which is really cool. And we do a camp here every January and February time frame, which kind of jumpstarts everyone's season. Team Everyman Jack also, and Rich Viola. We have a great crew, and I'm very fortunate that we get to all train together in the Bay. And those guys are, you know, if you want to get better at sport, train with faster people. And that is the key, is I try to train with faster people so that this technician can get a little stronger. So it's all these components that make up the we on Team MBK. And I'm not saying it's not just Team MBK, but as the professional athlete, if you will, the technician, it's not just a one person sport. And I'm not fluffing about that. It's the God honest truth. So
that's
teamwork
great.
Makes the dream work.
Teammates makes the dream work. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I know that you're a little tired and beaten up, so I appreciate you chatting to everyone. And I promised it would be 15 minutes, and I can't believe it. It's actually exactly 15 minutes. So
5 seconds.
Very good. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on Thursday. Feel free to post any questions that you would like in advance if you can't attend, and we'll go from there. All right. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye.
Take care.